I got a little something I'd like to lay on y'all.
A bit down, too much for his skill set, he's ill. Even though he feels he ain't killed yet. And still, after scribbling an opening line, he'll go ahead and revise it about 5 or 6 times. Cause it's gotta be exactly what he heard in his head. If it isn't, no scribbling for weeks on end. Now sometimes he gets so deep in his thoughts he gets lost, so he has to breathe deep and pause before he jumps ship into frozen terrain. He'll dial up the seldom people that remember his name, reading over what he scribbled earlier that day, in the hopes they understand what he was trying to say. Regardless the average thoughts that he thinks of his words, he's told in all honesty it's the dopest they've heard. He tends to ask really and they all say yes. Then they ask him what he calls it and he usually says,
"This is hip hop.
This is what I do." I said, this is what I do. It's much bigger than me, it's much bigger than you. But the truth is a lot of sad suckers, they just don't got a clue.
This is hip hop.
This is what I do. I said, this is what I do. It's much bigger than me, it's much bigger than you. But the truth is a lot of sad suckers, they just don't got a clue. Time to get prepared for the gig. He thinks about just what he wants to kick. Starts with this acapella that he spits so quick, so they know off the bat he don't sound like shit. See, he knows how fast the folks can lose their interest, going from blissful to listless. He's wise to keep that abreast, and yet he don't get nervous. Hell, the nerve-wracking part is just writing all the verses. This is an exercise in the expression of what's on his mind through rhyme, and he's not too concerned if it flies with ease. Personal validation's the main kind that he needs. He puts on a 3-piece suit and tie, which he's finding kind of funny, he's just not sure why. Jumps up on the stage, half a foot off the floor, and soon recites what he wrote the night before.
This is hip hop.
This is what I do. I said, this is what I do. It's much bigger than me, it's much bigger than you. But the truth is a lot of sad suckers, they just don't got a clue.
This is hip hop.
This is what I do. I said, this is what I do. It's much bigger than me, it's much bigger than you. But the truth is a lot of sad suckers, they just don't got a clue. Set finishes, they keep clapping. Gathers up his things and some give dap, but he barely makes time to acknowledge it. Grateful, yes, he's just never been good at taking compliments. Being polite though, he thanks them greatly, cause they're saying everything he needed to hear lately. And it's one thing to have it coming from your friends, but another from someone you might never see again. Putting it like that, the night was successful. Got the people to dig it on a whole level that they never knew. Evolution of his style to keep his chin up more than any generated revenue could do or did, or any way you mix and match it. It's raw energy exerted in the midst of madness, merely a fractional collection of bits and fragments that always rotate, so the flow is never stagnant. Before long in rolls a new day's dawn, like hello. He greets it with headphones on. This fellow is aware that even though they said it was the dopest they had heard, he cannot stop there. So a new beat wakes him up quicker than quick, and the song won't change till something gets ready. Pulls out the notebook, pulls out the pen, and begins his arduous adventure again.
This is hip hop.
This is what I do. I said,